Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right. Yeah, there's some Bama greats. They're not happy with what they're seeing from Alabama, and they're being kind of vocal about it. They're getting a little fed up with this defense. They're used to the Alabama defense that we've seen the last 20 years. And this year it really hadn't been there. Kalen DeBoer being the brand new coach. There's a lot of pressure on him. A lot of people are pointing fingers at the defensive coordinator, at the defensive system they're running, all of that. So let's get right on into it. Now I'm going to show you a quick video clip from the Bama Standard. One of the things I like about this channel, they bring on a lot of the Bama greats. They bring on a lot of former players. A lot of these guys have won SEC titles, national championships. They know a lot about what they're talking about, and they're not pleased with what they're seeing at Alabama right now.
Essentially, they're not really afraid to go up against our defense anymore. Matter of fact, if you saw the post-game press conference from Shane Beamer, when talking about the week leading up, he's studying film, he's looking at our defense. The man was giddy. I mean, he was over the moon. He's saying, okay, I can exploit him here, I can exploit him there. That's not Bama ball. So when we're at a point where it's never been before. That mystique kind of is fading away just a little bit. Stephen, what does that say to you when you're hearing this? The personality is somewhat changing, or has it? Now, you hadn't been able to speak until now, so I know you've had some time to kind of digest everything. What's your take?
Well, first off, let me say that there's no urgency, right? There's no pride. And if you got two great defensive players on here, and y'all can cut me off if I'm wrong, these players don't believe in that defense. They don't believe in the 4-2-5. They just don't. They don't believe in it. That's why they're playing like, man, whatever. Is no like the previous Bama team, when we had defense, they were excited to get out there and intimidate you. Teams were coming out intimidated because they already knew what was going to happen. Now you got coaches telling people what they're going to do to the defense and this and that. You never heard that, okay? So to me, I'm just saying, from what I'm observing, they don't believe in the defense. They don't believe in the defensive scheme. That whole defense, he needs to trash and come with something else. There's no he barely blitzes. And from what he came in and said, he said that this was an attacking defense. It doesn't look like they're attacking to me because, number one, the front line can never get penetration. I've never seen a Bama team that has no penetration. The front line is not dominating or penetrating anything. Then you got the DBs. They're busting coverages and doing all. It's like no communication. Then we're missing a lot of tackles. Now on to the offensive side. Jalen Milroe is running the ball too damn much. We got too many great running backs for them to be underutilized and this man to be so overly utilized. We got all these receivers, and the only person you can find is the freshman. This is ridiculous. We're people can pretty much say, you know what? No, we can stop Bama. Just stop Milroe from running and shut down the freshmen, and we're good.
And I'm hearing that from a lot of Alabama fans. Also, I talked with Kangaroo Black about it. He said about the same thing. They don't like the defensive system. They don't like the fact that Jalen Milroe's having to do all the running. They think he runs too much, and they're very unhappy with the defense. They're not used to seeing such a porous defense.
Well, from here on out, I'm going to be nervous about every game, seeing how our defense can play the last 6 quarters. Because if you remember, they gave up like 370 passing yards to Carson Beck in the second half of that game, and then we come out and give up almost 200 rushing yards to Vandy. I mean, it's the defense is my major concern, but also I got some concerns on the offensive side of the ball, being that I don't feel that we're using our running backs the way we should. And I think we need to get more receivers involved on the offense side of the ball. But as far as the Alabama fan base, I think they got the same worries as I do, or same concerns.
And I'm going to show you some of these numbers, and let me assure you, Nick Saban's ticked off. He is very unhappy with what he's seeing. But look at these numbers in the last 2 ball games, and this has been very consistent for Alabama ever since they had that great start against Georgia in that first half. And this is the game where Vanderbilt beat them, and everybody's like, well, Diego Pavia is so great, maybe that's why. And he threw for 75% completion rate, 2 touchdowns. But look at their third down conversion, 12 for 18. That's 67% plus 1 for 1 on fourth down. So basically 70%. That's unbelievable. An Alabama defense giving up 70% on third and fourth down, that's crazy.
Remain calm. All is well. All is well.
And you think, well, okay, it was just Diego. That's why that happened. And before I move on, one more thing. Look at the time of possession, 42 minutes to 18. That's unbelievable. Now let's take a look at the South Carolina game. This is a game that was at home. They were favored by 3 touchdowns. And Lenora Sellers, a redshirt freshman who had been struggling, he shows flashes of greatness, but then he does some terrible things. And it's just because he's so raw. He was a 3-star. He's got a ton of talent, but he's not really ready for prime time. He played a great game for the most part. He had a few mishaps that wound up being the difference really in a game they could have won, but he had some great moments too. It's the best game he's ever played against a Power 4 team, and especially one like Alabama. You look at his numbers. He was 23 for 31, 238 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He played better than Milroe, really. And they had more first downs than Alabama. This is at Tuscaloosa, by the way. They had more yardage, more passing yards, and they had the ball longer. But look at the third down efficiency. 7 for 15, 1 for 2 on fourth down. That's 8 for 17. That's almost 50%. So let's call it 50% versus 70%, an average of 60% that they're getting third and fourth downs. That's double what Alabama's used to giving up. Normally they're around 25, 30, 35%. You can't be around 60. So this might be a ball game to where Tennessee could get right. Because you think about the issues Nico's had, very similar to Lenora Sellers, a guy with a ton of talent. Of course, Nico's got even more. And a big 5-star coming in that looked great against the easy teams, has struggled against the good teams, and now he's coming up against Alabama. They've struggled in the secondary. They can't seem to communicate back there. They're a lot of busts, and their defense has been giving up a lot of yardage, a bunch, which for Alabama is just shocking. And Nick Saban had something to say about it. He's not happy at all.
I saw a little bit of complacency, almost even arrogance after the Georgia win. And, that creates blatant disregard for doing what's right, preparing-wise, ready to play with the kind of balance you need psychologically to be able to compete at a high level. Yeah. And you got to respect every opponent. But I really do think that the thing I always preach to our team was it's all about what you do. It's all about how you prepare, and nothing that you've done in the past is ever going to impact what happens in the future. So that's just a learning experience that you have to take with you so that you can improve. But the big thing in the game to me was 12 of 18 Vanderbilt on third down conversions. I mean, you cannot play anybody in the country and let them keep the ball that much. Yep. I mean, 30% of third down conversions would be like pretty good. Right. 67%? Yeah. Give me a...
Yeah, so obviously the defense is making them crazy. And I got to agree with that former Bama player. Our goal should be to stop Jalen Milroe. He is the straw that stirs the drink for Alabama. He's going to run. He's going to run all over the place. He's going to have his moments, and he's going to get his points. I feel like Tennessee is going to have to score close to 30 points at least to win this game, because I think Alabama will score 24-27. Just because Jalen Milroe, look, a running quarterback like he is, and he's got a good arm, you're not going to stop him. You just got to try to contain him. But I think we could score some points on this team. They've struggled mightily the last couple of weeks. Their confidence is probably not super high. And Nico is this close. He really is. Even the passes that he's missed have been just barely. And you can tell, I mean, he's got the right form. He's got the touch. He needs a breakthrough game. I'm hoping this will be it. It might not. Look, it's Alabama. It's a third Saturday. It's going to be a monster game, and it could go many different directions. I have no doubt of that. But this is a game that should be very interesting, and Tennessee's going into this thinking we can move the ball. We can score some points, and I hope that they do. And I think Tennessee's defense should keep us in this game. They've not allowed 20 points in 6 straight games. Under 20 points, 6 straight games. That's almost never been done at Tennessee. Last time it happened was 1969, back when all the rules were different. And all anybody ever did was pretty much run the ball and occasionally throw. Now, with the offenses the way they are and the rules the way they are, to keep teams under 20 points is fantastic. You should win every game. You really should, especially with a Josh Heupel offense. So this is going to be a huge test for both programs. Whoever wins this has an inside track into the playoff. Whoever loses is in trouble. They have to win out. It's just a fact. And Tennessee's got Georgia still on their schedule. Alabama's still got some tough games. So I'm pumped. And I know Neyland's going to be absolutely electric come 3:30 tomorrow afternoon. And I know Alabama's pumped too. So if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Let's me continue to cover all these big college sports stories. If you've not subscribed, boom, boom, boom. That little button right there doesn't cost you a dime. It'll help you get my videos. And right over here is the most recent video YouTube thinks you'll enjoy based on your viewing history. Something to do with the algorithm. Who knows?
Who are you? I am the architect. I created the Matrix. I've been waiting for you.
Anyway, we'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.